Hello, Dino Zookeepers, and welcome back to the second installment for Parkasaurus. I'm Chris from Wash Bear Studio, and I would like to talk to you about privacy and exhibit privacy for your dino best friends. So, let's get to it. So, here's Gus, and Gus, like every dino in Parkasaurus, has a privacy bar. And this bar will go down as more guests come in and cheer Gus on. And so, while that's good for the guests, that's bad for Gus. And there's a real fine balance in designing your exhibit where you have enough privacy for Gus, but also not too privacy so your guests can still see Gus. And a cool tool we can use to evaluate the privacy of our exhibit is the privacy heat map. And what it does is it shows us the privacy of each tile in your exhibit. So red tiles are not private and they tend to be close to where guests can see your dino, and orange and yellow are semi-private, and green tend to be very private, and they're usually farther away. Let's dive into the idea of this privacy heat map a bit more. So let's contrast two exhibits. This one here I'm building with a wooden fence, and a wooden fence is fairly strong, fairly cheap, and if you look at the privacy heat map of this exhibit, you'll see that it's not very private near the path, and it's more private farther out. Now let's build the same exhibit, except this time what we're going to use is change up the wall material a tiny bit. So again, it'll mostly be wooden fence, but I'm going to add some concrete wall, which is very strong, but you can't see through it. And in this case, it's actually kind of what we want, because if you look at the privacy heat map of this exhibit, it is a bit more private behind the concrete wall. Now it's very subtle, but it does affect the overall privacy of your exhibit. In addition to changing the material of the fences, there's other tools you can use to modify the privacy of an exhibit. So in this case, you can add some tall grass. And what that does is that it creates these little privacy pockets within your exhibit. And when Otis here goes inside the privacy pockets, he becomes invisible and starts to regenerate his privacy. And so eventually, your dino best friends just get fed up with no privacy, and what they'll often do, like in Otis's case, is find a nice tall patch of grass and sleep it off. They'll sleep away until their privacy regains enough that they feel comfortable to come back out and play again. Now, this is great for Otis, bad for your guests, because your guests can't see Otis, and if your guests can't see your dinos, they won't donate money to your park, and that's a problem. So there's a fine balance here. And eventually, once Otis feels he's had enough rest, Otis will say, all right, let's get back to it, and we'll start playing again in your exhibit. Hopefully that's given you some ideas on how you're going to design your exhibit. The two of us really appreciate everyone who wish lists the game on Steam, so please do that. That's great, thank you. Also, even better, maybe if you like what we're doing, pass on the video to a friend, or follow us on Twitter, or something amazing like that. Okay. Thank you very much. See you later.